Well, hello. Hello, my fellow broker-istocrats. Today we are going to have an interesting conversation while I make my breakfast. I think I'll step back. No, look, I can go all the way back here. That's much more pleasant. We've got my nice herbal medicinary in the back. This is where I create magic. I create herbal remedies for people who want to practice beautiful natural medicine in their homes. What is a broke aristocrat? You live the good life in a humble way. You make sure to prioritize the things that keep you healthy, happy, and safe. That is what it is to be a broke aristocrat. So sometimes you spend money, and sometimes you spend a lot of money, but it's really important to focus on spending money in ways that are going to enhance your life. Once in a blue moon, who doesn't like a cheeseburger, right? But we always want to go back to center and we always want to focus on taking good care of ourselves. A lot of people have said, how do you get healthy on a vegan diet or stay healthy on a vegan diet? I felt like crap when I was on a vegan diet. I concur. I too felt like crap on a vegan diet and still do. I never can get enough protein. So what I have instead tried to do is to live a balanced life and to try and reduce animal products as much as possible and not torment myself by being perfect. So today we're going to show you how to make a vegan smoothie. If I can get this properly set up. Maybe I can't, who knows? I'm trying here. All right, so this is my morning shake. As you can see, I've already gotten started on it. We're using a couple different things to increase the protein. My biggest problem with veganism is that I can never get easy to digest, bioavailable protein. Of course, the most bioavailable protein is egg whites. I'm not a fan of eggs. I've never really enjoyed them. But animal protein is easier to digest for a number of reasons. It doesn't contain fiber. It's just an easier, it's more bioavailable. That's just what the data shows. So we want to get protein into our bodies from a plant source. And if you have trouble digesting, if you have weak digestion, which is common in seniors, that can be a problem. When I make my protein shake, I will usually put in some PB2, that is made from dried peanut butter powder, so it has the oil removed. I really like that product. The other thing that I like is I like Protein and Greens by Paradise. Here's another great product. I usually will put in a little bit, I will put a tablespoon of this in and a lot of peanut butter powder. This will give me 24 servings of fruits and vegetables, and it's a great combination. In terms of different types of milks, if you're looking at most nutrient dense, you can do something like a Ripple. Ripple has 8 grams of protein in it, bioavailable from peas, really great. You can also think about your adrenal support if you want to level up, and that is with something like tonic alchemy. I sometimes will add this as well, just a little bit to add my ginseng, my rhodiola, my ashwagandha. There is some of that stuff in Protein and Greens by Paradise, but I always like to add just a little bit more. You don't have to do that. It's just something, it's expensive stuff, by the way. And yeah, and doesn't really taste very good. That I like to do. Hello, darling. How are you? Want me to come down here so I can reduce the amount of editing. Nice bit of walnuts for some omega. You can also do chia or flax, which will increase fiber. And that's pretty cool as well. So this is my morning shake. Protein and greens by Paradise, mixed fruits, ripple powder, some peanut butter powder. There you go. You're good to go. Yummy. Sometimes I will put a banana in this. Today I didn't get a banana. I'm using watermelon. Kind of fun. Some people don't like the taste, so you might want to have it be a higher percentage of protein from peanuts than a protein shake until you get used to the taste of the greens. They're very nutrient dense and it's really, really good for you. All right, let's have a conversation about not feeling good on a vegan diet. This is not a debate. Okay? If you are a vegan advocate, this is not a debate. You don't get to argue with somebody about what's going on inside their body any more than you have a right to force yourself onto their body or person. That's not good advocacy. If you truly care about animals, you want to get as educated as possible and not gaslight people or deny people's experiences or tell them they're imagining it. None of that is going to make you popular, and none of that is going to help you achieve your goal of getting people to be plant-based, particularly in senior populations that may find it difficult to make complicated dishes. I love watching Derek Steiner videos. Shout out to Derek Steiner. If you've got the time and the money to pay to make food like that, then gosh darn it, go for it. I might try his mushroom steak. That looks pretty tasty. If you're a senior with advanced arthritis that is no longer cooking or is diminished in your ability to cook, then I move patients towards things that are simple, like the vegan shake recipe that I gave you. It's going to get you nutrition. It's going to be high in protein. It's going to be protein that is probably a lot easier to digest than, say, a protein that's high in fiber. Fiber is not digestible. So removing fiber. I think in terms of how to get nutrient dense, high protein, low fiber, low carbs, it's the carbs that are spinning people out, particularly if a person is not grounded by protein. Protein is slow to burn, and if you're just loading up on carbs, it can often make you feel spacey, and you're going to feel awful if you're not getting adequate protein. So that's my tip. My tip is to look for proteins that have had the carbohydrates removed, that have had the fats removed, so that you can maximize your absorption of that protein. Also, try and find things that are easy to make, that are not complicated, that are not difficult to make, like protein shakes. Pre-packaged, pre-made things can be expensive, but most people can open a can of beans, or they can soak some dried beans and boil them. It's not very tasty, that's not very interesting, but making a salad from a salad mix and putting some beans on top, that's easy. Maybe a little avocado. We want to make things as simple as possible, as nutrient dense as possible, and we want to also look towards proteins that are low in carbohydrate, easy to digest, low in fiber, if we're concerned about somebody not getting adequate protein and having difficulty absorbing that protein. Not everyone is going to be 100% vegan. I am not. But particularly in senior populations, we want to work slowly with the person. Intent can only get you so far if a person has a medical challenge. Remember, every vegan meal is a win for the animals. Every vegan meal is a win for the animals. Go slow, be gentle. If you're overly aggressive, if you're rude or hostile, if you are discarding, debasing, and denying the person who's telling you that you're having a problem, you're being abusive, and that's not good advocacy. Instead, show grace, recognize that if somebody's been eating meat their entire life, if their digestion is such that they are struggling getting adequate protein, O-type blood type, evidence suggests needs more protein. But there's some real evidence to suggest that people who are O positive, high percentage of them have higher Neanderthal DNA too, by the way. Neanderthals had higher calories, higher protein. I have like really high Neanderthal and I'm type O blood type. Work with people. A person may be able to get to 50% of their diet being, 50% of their meals being vegan. Start with breakfast. If you can get a vegan breakfast in, that's one meal. If you can get one meal a day, start with breakfast, that's vegan, that's one less meal eating animal products. And then you can start with dinner. Usually if people are going to be hungry for protein, it's usually in the late afternoon when digestive fire is high. In Ayurvedic medicine, we say digestive fire is highest between noon and 8 p.m. So those are the times when, right stab in the middle, 3, 4 in the afternoon, late lunch, early dinner, you're going to be wanting to do your concentrated protein, high protein meal. People will usually do on my program a salad with some lean animal protein like chicken or fish. So I usually, if a person wants to go full vegan, I will start with vegan breakfast, then a vegan dinner, because dinner is the lightest meal, usually one of the lighter meals. We usually have people do something like a simple vegan soup, salad. And then as you go along, they may never be able to have that main meal be vegan, but at least they are dedicating 2 meals a day to being plant-based. Now that could evolve and the person could get to a point where they are 100% vegan. But if you're too rigorous with somebody, if you guilt trip somebody too much, then if you start attacking someone's character, you're not, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work for 90% of the people that you are missionizing to. And if people don't feel good, if people feel that they're in jail, they're not going to do it. It's not sustainable. And what we're finding is that most of the people who start off vegan, they don't stay vegan after a year. Most don't even stay vegan after 6 months. But what we can do is we can work with people so that they are incorporating more wholesome, healthy, plant-based meals in their diet. They will dramatically improve their health and it'll be better for the planet overall. In terms of what animal products we recommend, if a person is going to be consuming animal products, we want to go as lean as possible. So that means, wild caught fish is usually what's recommended. Some people will do a boiled egg. There's no fat other than the egg. The yolk is probably not as dangerous as people think. Boiled eggs are bioavailable protein if you're okay with eggs. You feel like, well, my protein is going really low. Find as humane as possible, and have them when you need them. If you feel like I need to boil an egg and get some protein in it, or open up a can of wild caught salmon and put that on some fish. I put that on some salad, and that should help get your protein up if you're struggling with digesting plant protein. Lean turkey and chicken, skinless, broiled, or poached, steamed, boiled, remove the fat, are also healthy forms of animal protein. And that should get you on a diet like that to about 80 grams or more protein a day, with the majority coming from plants. Now, understand that plant protein is not as bioavailable. People can debate till the cows come home, but the science is the reality of the science, and we want reality for people, not religion and dogma. The reality is that fiber is like a net, and if your body cannot tear through the net to get the carbs, to get the protein, and then have to break down the plant protein because of weak digestion, because you're not used to the food, you're going to see a protein deficit, which means that you may have a great protein shake or whatever. This one is low in fiber deliberately for that reason. You may have something and then it goes in one end and out the other, and 40% of the protein is lost. The body that does not absorb it. So be mindful of that as well. So on paper it looks good. Well, you got 50 grams of protein, or you got 80 grams of protein. But again, if the carbohydrates and the fiber are part of that product, making it difficult for you to digest the food, it's unlikely you're going to be getting 100% absorption. We get closer to 100% absorption with something like egg whites, right? So just be mindful of that as you traverse this journey as a broker-istocrat, trying to love yourself, trying to take care of your health, trying to be kind to yourself and to the world. Seek balance, as the Buddha would say. Pursue compassion for yourself, but compassion for others as well. Veganism is the gold standard. It's definitely something to be admired. It is definitely something to be pursued. But if you cannot get to 100%, if you can only get to 80%, that's still a win. And you should not abandon your goal of being plant-based, right? So even if it's just 2 meals a day that are vegan or vegetarian, if you can't give up your dairy, um, as much as you can move towards plant-based eating, like I said, start with breakfast, and then if you're having light meal or snacks at night, just be aware. Is this whole food plant-based? Is this whole food plant-based? Is this whole food plant-based? If you can commit yourself to 1 meal a day and then maybe 2 meals a day, it's going to be better for you, the planet, the animals, and you're just going to feel better about the world overall. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching this quick video from Broker-istocrats. Be sure and share, like, subscribe, and tell me what you're doing to stay healthy while remaining on a budget. Bye, everyone. Thank you.